sorry, listener. I am afraid the weather reports are grim. But we have a more dire prognostication to deal with today. And that's another episode of Riverdale Season 6, the podcast.
Womp, 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 womp.
What's
That's right.
up?
That's the foghorn in the distance being blown by me, your co-host, Omar and Sara. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm so great, Omar. And yes, that's right, listener. It's me, Sarah Kaplan, your co-host for Riverdale Season 6, the podcast, your favorite podcast focused on rewatching specifically Season 6 of Riverdale.
That's right. And what's that? I'm just getting a message back from our listeners. Also, favorite podcast in general.
Wow,
Oh, that's nice.
That's did you hear that on your antique ham radio?
I did. Yeah, I did it. I heard that on my ham radio, which might be illegal if you don't have a license. I was researching while watching the episode, but we'll get into that in a second.
Yes.
Because we're going to break all kinds of laws tonight. We're going to commit all sorts of crimes, and we're going to hear some pretty terrifying backstories.
That's true.
Not in the episode. This is all specifically from our guest. Please welcome Amy Vorpahl.
Yay! Hi, everybody. So good to be here.
Amy.
I can't wait to break laws with you.
Amy, you are an actor, a songwriter, a successful Kickstarter of your album Behold Her Dreams, which, listener, did you hear what I said? Behold her dreams? Behold her. And you are, of course, a very well-known TTRPG content creator and dungeon master.
I feel so well researched. This feels great.
Yes.
I have been appropriately stalked.
Yes. I stalk all of our guests, Amy.
Yes. Good.
Especially Harper Rose.
Ooh.
I felt like I was jealous of her stalkers that she talked about.
Oh, we did talk a lot about
We talked about her
Like,
stalkers. No,
this
I'm
real-life
just
issue.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Harper Rose, if you're listening, I would never stalk Harper Rose. I'm committed. I'm a monogamous stalker, and I only stalk my co-host, Omar Najam.
That's correct. That's correct.
You're
Because
just
of my
so
privilege.
stalkable. I feel like, not to victim blame, but Omar,
Sure.
you're very stalkable.
I agree.
No, I until this bit becomes not funny, I appreciate it.
Listeners, to get serious with you for a second, don't stalk Omar.
No.
Don't
And
stalk
if you're like-
Omar.
If you're like, we looked up your address and your tax forms, joke's on you. I don't file my taxes.
Yeah.
So take that. Take
no
that.
public record.
And
No.
if any of this is cut out and you don't hear these bits, it's because our wonderful producer, Azrael, has taken them out. How's it going, Azzy?
It's going pretty well, except for how nervous that made me. Going good. I actually have like kind of a ham radio in my room. It's broken, so
Don't
like
tell
I'm not
anyone that,
breaking-
Azzy.
I'm
It's
not breaking-
illegal.
I'm not breaking any laws. It's broken.
Well, you're
It's not
breaking
like I
ham
need-
radios, it sounds like.
So
yeah,
it's just decoration at this point.
Yep. Yeah.
I
love
asked
that.
Google, why is it called a ham radio? And Google's AI came back to me with a couple different answers and went, we're not quite sure, but here's all the possible things.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
Any of your any favorite reason?
I'll be honest, no.
Okay,
But the main reason I'm bringing it up
fine.
is it's just wild to me where Google's like, we looked it up and here's the thing. And I'm just like, yeah, but you're Google. That's what I'm
I
doing.
mean, I guess it's
Is it-
like hand-activated messaging.
yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It was like possibly
Why did
also,
you ask Google when Sarah is right here?
that's
I
the
could have made up
thing.
an answer way better than an AI.
Guys, AI is taking over guesswork now.
Okay, it's short for Hyman Almy Murray.
possibly.
Your hymen?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
It's a beautiful progressive.
Shout out
Shout
out to early
yeah.
synthesizer composer Dick Hyman.
Mm-hmm.
He's real.
Amy, please.
I'm
Amy.
so
Amy?
sorry. No,
Please.
guys, this sounds made up. This sounds exactly like the prank that you pulled by telling me to watch without context. Season
was that a
6, episode 12. No, it just as I was going and literally watching it, I was like, Do you remember when Black Eyed Peas released that song that was like, fill up your cup, drink. Mazel tov. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all listened to it and we were like, this has to be a joke, right? Like, this isn't a real song.
Yeah.
That's how this episode felt to me.
That's interesting because I saw it as a sort of serious piece of both horror and political intrigue in which we had an ominous fog and a potential coup to town.
Yeah, you're laughing, Amy, but there's a lot of really serious stuff happening in this episode.
Okay, yeah,
it might be a little inappropriate. Are you laughing at the fact that Jughead took 7 minutes to go get gas siphoned from a car? I think.
Well, and I mean, not to get too far into it, but they did give the alert if any of you are lost or in the darkness, and you just follow the light very seriously, like as if we were in the apocalypse.
Yeah.
But what we were actually in was an hour into a foggy.
It was foggy night. Yeah, it was very foggy.
Yeah. Now, in all fairness, I did a little bit of research, and I have a degree in film and media studies from UCSB in the film theory department. As you know, you're a film expert. Amy, you have an entire library of pop culture references to pull from. Sarah, you know Riverdale Season 6.
Yes.
So this was clearly a reference to John Carpenter's, if I'm correct, James and the Giant Peach, the scene where it's foggy. Is that correct, Azzy? No? Is that wrong?
No, I would probably not say that.
It's not John Carpenter's James and the Giant Peach, the scene where it's foggy?
No, I would say it's probably John Carpenter's The Fog.
Oh. You know what? That makes a lot more sense.
Or
I'm sorry, John Carpenter makes movies.
Yeah, or Frank Darabont's The Mist.
But crazily, John Carpenter makes only as many movies as Dick Hyman has made.
Did you know, Amy, that Dick Hyman is real?
Well,
if you don't believe me, let me introduce a very important part of this podcast. Basically, from here on out, this episode will consist of one segment called Ask Azzy.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions about actors or lore or reality, you can ask Azzy to Google it for you. And just so you know, Azzy's not quite in your position, but Azzy has not seen Riverdale seasons 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And is watching each episode as we record it. So she is the closest to in your shoes right now.
She's fresh into season 6.
Yeah, and now I've been tasked with Googling Dick Hyman.
Yeah, that's gonna mess up your For You playlist on Google.
It'll mess up your For You playlist if you don't like 1960s and 70s synth music.
He did Musetta's Waltz for Moonstruck.
Oh.
This is so real. God, I really thought y'all were
thought
kidding.
I was lying?
Well, not lying, but for sure joking at least.
Yeah, no, this is a real podcast.
I do have a prank podcast idea that I will be inviting you to in the future, Amy. So, you are not wrong.
I know
you're not wrong. And I'll tell you at the end.
Okay.
I'll tell you what the bit is.
Okay,
like,
but
oh
before we get to that bit, we do have to get into the episode.
Yeah.
We have a whole episode of Riverdale to get through. And first, I just wanted to ask, do you remember the Great Frog of 1922?
Yeah.
Me? No.
Okay.
Candidly, not at all. Not one bit.
Oh, it's pretty memorable.
Yeah. I love, so here's what I want to say.
Yeah.
If you are a creator or a writer, any version of that, and you're like, God, I could never write this. Who am I to tell this story?
Yeah.
Any imposter syndrome at all?
Yeah.
Just recognize it's all possible. Like, you don't have to, you know, like you can pull motivation for a bottle episode out of your ass, out of weather, out of like a circumstance that should not be motivated at all. And then apply it to your story and say, fuck it. Like, we're doing everyone just stays in their home episode.
You know, Amy, this is genuinely a fantastic point. I feel like when we had the golden age of television with Mad Men and other shows with problematic male leads,
Breaking Bad,
the shows with problematic male leads, that it was this thing of like only the smartest of the smartest, most capable, incredible gods among us could write television. But as a 90s kid, like a bottle episode, you're like, the door's locked, the knob falls off. Well, I guess we're in the house, characters. And that was like, that's what we did. Okay, we wrap by Friday. We got to get out of here.
Well, it's not, I don't even want to like seclude it to 90s, because even now there are movies and TV shows being made that completely remove the magic of cell phones, where so many things could be solved with a text, a phone call, some sort of, communication. And it's just like, sorry, that magic just doesn't exist because we need tension. And like, we don't, I don't think many of us clock it as much as we should. You know, like these people in this show have cell phones. So
they do.
Like the fact that they're like, if you need if you're in the darkness and you need the light, follow the light to Pops, the neon sign. It's bizarre. Like it's truly, it's like maddening.
Put Pops chocolate shop in Apple Maps. Hit start.
Totally.
I do want to point out, just interestingly, we get a glimpse of Veronica's calendar. It's been a live question that a lot of guests have of like, when does this take place? Because the technology is all over the place.
Yeah.
And it is confirmed in this episode that season 6 is in 2022.
Okay. Got it.
Which is 100 years after the 1922 Big Fog.
It's not only 100 years after the 1922 Big Fog, but also we get a glimpse of the days on Veronica's calendar. And I did a little research for this episode. I went back and I looked through the various Februaries, and the dates lined up with 2022. So it is 2022.
Art department. Let's go, art department. Nailed it.
I love that for the entire show, this very stylistic show, the only shout out they've ever gotten for a calendar.
Getting the February calendar right from 2022.
Yeah.
There is a big fog coming through. I have a question just because like I missed it and I didn't want to like necessarily like rewind back because I thought that this would just be good to bring to the podcast. So there's a weather reporter who is not available. And so Alice is going to report the weather. That's not to say Alice made the fog happen a la Storm in X-Men 1, right?
No, because she was saying that the weather reporter was like, she was very like she was like, this weather reporter won't get off her ass about this fog that's coming in.
That's what it was.
She was like obsessed with this
fog. Wrath of God.
Yeah. She's like this, but the weather reporter's sick. And so, yeah, I mean, God only knows. Also, I will say that it actually was a really good episode for someone like me coming in to watch it because the beginning of the episode, they're gonna establish a coup. They're gonna I don't even know who the council is. I barely know who Percival is, but they're gonna take him down.
Yes.
And then they don't because there's a fog because of weather and like you can't do a coup in the fog. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, well, it didn't work out. We didn't do the coup. Percival is, I guess, now the mayor. God only knows how that happened.
Yeah, he out-cooed them.
He out-cooed them. And then I guess my point is this episode didn't need to happen.
I think that's an interesting take, but we'll find out as we work our way through it. God. We do a lot of the way this episode.
No, but like they start with like it's kind of like the main quest. You know, you go like in a video game, you're like, that's the main quest, got it. And then you go and do these innocuous side quests, and then you come back and you're like, well, I guess it's time for the main quest. All right, and that'll be episode 13.
That's apparently also like kind of what happens with the Indiana Jones movies. Is a theory where it's like they wouldn't have found it without him, so they could have just if he didn't do it, they would have never got their hands on those things.
You're saying most of this episode would not make it into Riverdale Kai.
Yes,
just Riverdale Bridge. That's a just for me.
That went over my head.
That's a Dragon Ball Z reference, right?
Oh, I don't know that
actually, it's not it's a Dragon Ball Kai reference.
Oh, that's right.
Dragon Ball Kai is Dragon Ball Z reduced from like 1,000 episodes to 120 episodes. They cut out anything that's not part of the story.
Yes, I think that. Well, I don't know because I don't know if all the things I wrote down, I took notes because I'm a diligent podcast guest, and all of my notes have question marks at the end of them. So
let's start cutting through them then.
Yeah,
let's start seeing if we can answer some of these. Let's turn some of those question marks into exclamation points, Amy.
Okay.
Yeah, Amy. Normally I walk us through the episode, but since you have notes, how about you start reading us some of your notes here?
Okay, my first one, which is gonna be so innocuous, is Betty has sunglasses ?
I can
Right.
explain this one.
Yeah, we can explain that one.
Okay. She's indoors, to be clear, and it seems like it's heading
Okay.
on into evening.
If you had to guess, why might she be wearing sunglasses?
Okay. So sunglasses would be maybe she got her eyes dilated at the doctor.
That's an option.
That's cute.
Maybe she was incognito right before she sat down.
Yeah.
She does look very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the style thing.
I think I'm done. I don't know.
So you
would it trouble you to find out she also has superpowers?
Yeah, it's interesting that one of the options you didn't put on the table was that as a result.
Is she Cyclops?
No. That would be ridiculous. It's really simple, Amy. Basically, what happened is, Veronica's dad, Hiram Lodge, put a bomb under Betty and Archie's bed at the same time that Cheryl cast a curse on the town.
Act of magic.
At the same time that Jughead was writing in the garage underneath them.
Act of creation.
At the same time that there was a piece of palladium nearby.
Act of science.
And that confluence of different influences gave rise to a splinter universe in which all things were possible. And that splinter universe has begun backfeeding magic into this world. And Veronica has attained the superpower of seeing threatening auras. But as a side effect, and Betty has the superpower of seeing threatening auras. And as a side effect, she gets really bad migraines. And that's why she's wearing sunglasses, because the lights are too bright.
Oh, okay. Well, Azzy, it does not trouble me to know that. In fact, so much more makes sense in my entire life now.
Cool.
I did write down the palladium thing. I clocked that because at some point Archie was like, I'm invulnerable. So wait, I'm going to guess what I want to see if I got it. So Betty can see threatening auras. So we don't even know if the man in the fog was real that she saw maybe.
No, we don't know.
Okay, great. And
Sorry, continue.
And then Archie apparently is invulnerable, which is different from immune or like non-killable. He's just he's
you would think
invulnerable. Okay, well we don't know. Okay, well God only knows. We only know the word is used invulnerable, but that is a specific superpower that isn't quite like, like Wolverine, like can get hit but heal back, or we don't know. Okay, great.
Yeah, it's unbreakable skin. And then I think, because Amy, you're a writer, like you would then say, but an easy way to attack someone who's got unbreakable skin is to attack them from the inside, right?
Poison, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's also immune to that.
No, he's invulnerable. He cannot be harmed except by his weakness, as you identified, palladium.
I have a question. If Archie Andrews came out to Hollywood, California, and saw a show, I'm trying to think of the last show I saw at this place. It was Geek and Sundry, so it was a long time ago. But just because parking in Hollywood is tough.
At the Palladium.
At the Palladium, would it affect him?
I don't think so, Omar. I think that's just a word similarity.
But would he be paranoid about it and not go anyway? I mean, Archie's got a good head on his shoulders. But let me give you some context about where I'm coming to. When Sarah reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you be on this thing? Like, tell me about your Riverdale experience." And I was like, "I think I've seen seasons like 1 through 5, but nothing past that." And I just like the most surprising thing that I've seen on Riverdale was Archie made kind of a terrorist video.
Oh yeah,
right. Yeah, of course.
And that to me was one of those like, whoa, okay, like, wow, all right, Riverdale, like we're going there now, okay. Like I'm not out of it. I'm like, all right, let's go. Anything's possible. But then I get into this episode, and we get like very earnestly, people are going, I time travel, and then Jughead can't hear.
He's deaf.
Normally, but he can hear thoughts.
Yes.
But he's having normal conversations.
Can I ask you a question, Amy?
Yeah.
Given that Tony and Fangs are serpents, do you think they can provide a safe environment for baby Anthony?
Okay, I think Fangs has a little bit of toxic masculinity going.
Okay.
Now, but he does have the protector spirit. He just also seems to be a problem solver with violence as his first priority.
That's true.
But Tony seems, I don't know. Yeah, I would say no. Actually, like give it to the queers. Give the baby to the queers.
Give the baby to the queers.
So, that's interesting. So you don't think that someone being sort of addicted to cruising in the public parks in the woods, you don't think that would make them incapable of being a dad then?
I think that is suppression, but it's obviously being taken out. Like he's dealing with it. I mean, cruising. So she paints him as cruising. So that's and then we see him have like a really vulnerable conversation with Moose that seems very consensual and like sweet. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I think maybe, I don't know. Again, I don't know, but from what I'm seeing as an audience, he's not doing anything like lewd or wrong or weird.
Yeah. So you're saying give the baby to the queers, which in general I fully agree with. In the show, in real life, my question with every Disney
that's
movie,
actually the official position of this podcast in 2024 is give us your babies. Give the babies to the queers.
Give your babies to the queers. But Amy, can I ask now? This puts us in a very interesting situation because this is the rule of law. This is the law of the land. Give the baby to the queers. Fangs used to date Kevin.
They were married.
And Tony used to date Cheryl.
Oh, so they're queer too.
They're all queer too. They're still proud members. They're still very much bisexual and proud members of the LGBTQ community.
Okay, well,
in our Babies R Us court.
I'm just going on what I see on screen, and Fangs is prone to violence.
Yeah,
and Tony, Tony seems to be wanting to build a bridge, but it seems like the only malleable person who is open to new things, like open to new options, is Kevin.
Interesting. So you're pro give baby Anthony to Kevin in this scenario.
At this time, yes, but y'all sound like you're judging me. Like Kevin's not the best choice, but I've seen nothing else.
Would it change your mind if I let you know that Kevin, in his capacity as a part-time deputy for the town of Riverdale, is sort of enthralled by an immortal racist warlock who's using him to get baby Anthony as a way of getting at Tony because she's a member of the Council of Four?
Yeah, that would change my mind. Yeah,
we haven't. To be clear, we haven't gotten to the fog yet.
Because and it's a racist warlock.
Yeah.
Is that Percival? Is that Percival?
That is
Percival's a racist warlock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you say racist. I mean, I will say that whoever plays the actor had like 0 lines, and you get racist warlock from Percival, which is how I guessed it. So he's giving a good energy for bad guy.
Do you think it was good of Wizards to get rid of that subclass in 4E?
Oh, the variant warlock.
The racist warlock.
I think D&D is trying these days,
Yes, yeah. And succeeding. We got rid of it. We got rid of the racist warlocks. More than Riverdale can say at this moment.
Oh my god. Okay, well, yeah, that's context. I thought I had it all figured out, but that's extra. So wait, I have a question. When did this bomb happen? Because I get the bomb was the creation of everything.
In between seasons 5 and season 6.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because now we're okay. So I will say this show is one that I would 100% want to write for.
Yes, there's no question about that.
Yeah, we could do anything. Like I had, like basically, you come in and everyone's like, "Okay, what dreams did you have last night?" And then that gets into the show.
Amy, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are we dating?
You and me?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way because I'm actually 2 weeks late.
Oh my God, Sarah. Look, I try to be as earnest as I possibly can. I'm in an improv class right now, so you got to play to the height of your intelligence. And y'all are dying.
Amy, you can still say no.
You can still say no. You can still say no.
With that information, you can still say no.
Like it's not confirmed that I'm pregnant. I have not taken a pregnancy test, but to put all my cards on the table, I did stop taking birth control when the trash bag killer had me in that well.
Okay, trash bag killer. They never say that, by the way. They never say what that is. And I knew it was from another season, but I didn't remember. Also, but Sarah, even though we're not dating, if you have a baby, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh my God, thank you, Amy. Thank you.
Yeah, like Amy's not leaving.
I'm not leaving your side.
Okay, that's sweet.
You can be right there with me when I'm stalking Omar.
Yeah, because even though we're not dating, I'm weirdly committed to you. So I also am trying to date on my own. Meanwhile, but I'm your first priority somehow.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
The trash bag killer not providing Betty with birth control. Typical men. Like this is seatbelts all over again.
I love how she did get out of it with a really anticlimactic situation where he was just like, all right, you can go. Like, and so he's still out there technically. I don't remember how.
No, he's very much still out there. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
and he's obsessed with Betty, which is not funny.
Yeah.
Can I, Amy?
It's not funny. He's stalking pretty Betty.
Yeah, I am who I am, Omar.
That's true.
Out of the body, Betty.
Can I give you a couple options here, Amy?
Yeah.
I'm just going to give you a binary choice here. You can either A, dismember a body and prove that we're kindred, or you could refuse me and you'd be next.
Yeah, and the body's already dead, by the way. So like,
it's just a dead body.
Morally speaking, it's a very easy.
Yeah.
Unless like the only thing that would be different, like it would be really cool. This is, going into D&D and maybe writing as well. Just like if there was some tension between those choices.
Sure.
Where it's like, oh, Betty, there was something else that Betty could do, or like she chose an option. Oh, whoa. She chose an option. Sorry, Zoom just went nuts. But it would be cool if she came up with on her own, because she is in this story. If I remember Riverdale, she's like bright, like she is a shining star,
a shining aura.
Yes, and so if she came up with a third option,
#1 serial killer tracker.
Oh yeah, that was surprising when everyone, because I remember everyone's like, oh, agent this, and Veronica owns a casino, and I was like, oh my God, they all have jobs, except I don't know what Archie does, and Jughead's a server, but they seems like they're late 20s, early 30s.
They're 25 here,
but they're 25.
So they all do that, and they all also teach at the school.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Gig economy, Amy.
I don't know if you heard Kevin. Kevin's a teacher at the school and a part-time deputy.
And a part-time deputy. Okay.
If you had to guess what Archie does for the school, what would you say Archie does for Riverdale
just off
High
the top
School?
of your head?
Oh no. Okay. Well, we got Moose is coming back as a PE teacher, so he's not going to do maybe athletics, but something. Maybe Archie. I don't. Maybe counselor. Is he the counselor?
Kind of.
Okay. Or
he's the head of the ROTC.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense too, because he got pretty militant in that terrorist video.
He is a war hero.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, so you didn't watch season 5.
Maybe I didn't watch season 5 either.
About 5 episodes into season 5, they do a 7-year time skip between episodes, and Archie's just come back from war, and he is a war hero. And even though this does canonically take place in 2022, Archie was fighting in like World War I style trench warfare.
I'm gonna even move the orbit back a little bit. Did this happen after Endgame, when that
Avengers
surprised
Endgame?
Avengers Endgame, when the audience was like, oh my God, it's 5 years in the future. We didn't see that coming.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm honestly proud of myself for knowing that was a movie.
Okay, but then like TV shows and we've seen it. I think more often, or at least more expertly used, where these time jumps are just kind of like, yeah, fuckers.
I think in this case specifically,
that's merch.
The actors are older. The show, like, the show really wants us to be a little more guilt-free and being horny for these characters. And I think they realized, like, a bunch of high school, like, seniors, we don't want to be horny over high schoolers anymore. Like, America's finally gotten to the point where I know as a viewer, like, it was perfect timing for me because I'd literally just had the thought, like, the show wants me to be horny for high schoolers, but I simply can't bring myself to do that. And then, even though I know the actors are all like 30, and then cut to 7 years later, and I'm like, oh, thank you, show. You read my mind.
Oh, that is interesting. Also, I mean, it could have been, again, moving the orbit out, like the Euphoria situation where everyone was like, okay, like that's, I mean, excellent TV, but also like, whoa, you know, same vibe, Sarah.
That's why I never watched Euphoria. That, and because I've only ever seen one television show, which is Riverdale.
And Riverdale. That's right.
I for a fact know that even without looking it up, know that this came out after Endgame because it takes very directly from Endgame later in this episode.
No, but Amy's talking about the 5-year time skip, which was season 5.
Yeah.
But season 5 also came out after Endgame.
That is a good reminder, Azzy. We do need to get back into the episode.
Yes.
And I have another question for you, Amy. Let's say your daughter's exiled you from your family estate. Okay. And you're like, maybe you can go anywhere in the world to kind of seek refuge. What's this top of mind, first place you'd go?
Like, what's safe, easy to get to?
Yeah, I mean, you hop a flight literally anywhere. So I would say, I mean, and somewhere beautiful, you know, where you could go on vacations, stick your feet in the sand or the water.
Snow, maybe.
And yeah, like Greece is, you know, or somewhere that's just like beautiful. But somewhere, where you could just, if you were on the lam, you would want to really take that in and be like, God, I guess, you know, no consequences. You would be sexually free. You would be liberated. All kinds of free, liberated. Yeah, like you would just be, if you're gonna, if you know, like lean into the whole, I guess I'm an outlaw in the United
full
States.
Reset, eat, pray, love.
How about you, Omar? Where do you think you'd go?
Me? I mean, kind of going off of what everything Amy's saying, the Himalayas.
Yeah, I agree. First off, for me, definitely go to the original convent for the Sisters of Quiet Mercy high up in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
But the color pattern, I mean, the color palette, we've got some nice blues. We got a brown.
Yeah, lovely.
I've never seen such a stylish nun.
Do you think that those colors contrasted Cheryl's crimson blood red?
Oh, sure.
I mean, I can't believe of every question asked on this episode that's the one that got the most.
I don't have an opinion. I don't have an opinion on the contrast, but I did like the nun outfit because it was pretty, you know, runway. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it was still a classy
It was serving.
Look.
Amy, can I apologize for my co-host Omar for asking just honestly an insulting question like that?
and then judging me for how I answered it.
Can we get this episode back on track? And will you tell me, if you were the head of a convent, would you allow an ex-dominatrix convicted felon serial killer join your flock?
Okay. I love that question because when I heard it, I was like, ex-dominatrix
See, Omar, that's how you ask a normal question.
You're right. I apologize.
Oh, yeah, and I complimented that question, didn't I? And the other question, I kind of died inside. So
I heard.
It was kind of the same experience.
But I'm sorry, you were saying something about an ex-dominatrix.
Sorry, Amy, continue.
It's really funny that is placed in the list, and it's the first thing in the list that it's the ex-dominatrix, which a dominatrix is such a consensual job. Like it is so. Sex workers in general, like everyone is so, there's so much safety in dominatrix, and then you have serial killer, and you're like, the fact that both of those things are in the same list is bananas. But serial killer, I mean, look, forgiveness is the currency there. So if I were, I would do it for the plot for sure.
There you go.
Let her in for the plot.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
It's been a little slow here in the Himalayan mountains. I think we should just spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, maybe bring her in.
When I saw Madeline, because I remember that character Madeline, and she was like, everything had so many candles in this episode that was just all lit by candles. But
so many candles.
So many just burning, and the lighting was great. Honestly, everyone looked great. But you do have to ask, why does a restaurant have 100 candles?
Why does a teacher's lounge have 7,000 candles?
Yeah, they were grouped all together. There was never one candle where they're carrying it around. It was like you either had 0 candles or a pack of 30 candles, which I guess we know that candles travel in packs.
One of the questions I plan to ask you, Amy, is how many candles do you own?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think I have 4.
4.
Wow, you're really not prepared for a fog, Amy.
I also like that it's like a fog. Surely, yeah, the electricity is going to go down. They need the generator on, but we don't know why. They're doing fine. You know what I mean? Like, I guess the refrigerator, but they don't give a reason why they need the generator. And also no one else is dealing with generators. No one else.
Right. Yeah.
It's just Pops desperately needs the generator.
Encourage people to drive in the fog to come to your chocolate shop, or would you use your ham radio to say like, hey, maybe pull over to this side of the road until the fog lifts?
Yeah, you got to pull over. I mean, we saw that fog. That fog was, I mean, look, computer generated or not, it was dense and dark.
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that it might be safer for them to just drive in a straight line in the direction of the light.
They said at the beginning, because I love The Fog. It's one of my favorite horror movies. It slaps. It's so like it's exactly what it's on the box. Well, there's also Ghost Pirates, but
the Mist as well. Mist is incredible.
Omar,
Mist is great.
It's not a movie. It's an episode of this show.
Yeah. It's this episode of season 6 is one of my favorite movies. It was, it's funny you mentioned that, because like when it was like this is out of a Stephen King book, I was like, yeah, but then it's gonna be monsters. Like then because like The Fog, and granted, yes, I know it's like Ghost Pirates, but a lot of The Fog is also just like the vibes are like a late night DJ, like a lighthouse, the coast, things slowly being creepy. Whereas The Mist is straight up like protect your kids. There's a giant spider going around. Yeah. Anyhow, I just kind of thought that was a setup that I was like, we're not going to deliver on this. I got a little concerned about it. Did you feel like your expectations from that throwaway Stephen King line that I hyper fixated on threw off your expectations, Amy?
No, I was just a nubile baby going into this episode.
You're a baby Anthony going into this episode.
I was a baby Anthony. Yeah, I was stoked to hear that Betty. Look, that didn't throw me off at all. The fog itself, like the explanation. Oh, by the way, I mean, we just have to talk about story structure. There were so many things. It was like I wrote down coup ? The council, Betty sunglasses, secret rings lady. Let's go fog. How the fuck old are these people? There's analog and cell phones. Agent Cooper, what the hell? Sex crazed daddy, what? A nun? And then time travel, and then it goes, and then I go, all of this is the cold open ? Because you don't get titles until after you find out that like they're talking about time travel in Pops.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, that actually reminds me that I want to talk to you about something that I've been kind of obsessed with. You can time travel now.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Maybe I can, and maybe I can do it. How many times did she say? Like 10,000, like 1,200 times?
1,384.
Is that the Endgame reference for you, Azzy?
Endgame reference.
The Infinity War one.
Yes, out of all of those. But is there 2? I think there's only one that Doctor Strange says.
Yeah, their twist on it, their special twist on it is Jughead says, how many did we win? And Tabitha goes, 2. So there's one more than Endgame, which is cool.
That's good odds.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was really derivative, and that's fine. Like, I mean, again, like I would want to write on the show and be like, hey, Russo brothers, like, check me out too.
Game set.
Yeah, exactly.
Game set, you dorks. Yeah.
So anyway, the structure, I was like, the cold open. I mean, obviously it's Netflix, so nothing is real anymore, but it was CW, right? Or I don't know who has the show now.
CW, yeah.
It's still CW. Well, you're like 10-15 minutes in, like the cold open, what are we doing anymore?
Yeah. Was the most like distracting part for you, Amy, when all this information was being delivered and how there's a curfew because of the fog? Was the part that really confused you the most the fact that everyone just got up and didn't pay and just left the diner?
Oh my God, I remember that, and I didn't even clock that. I was so distracted. You're so right. Like everyone, yeah, you're right. Everyone just got up and left. There was no, and there were only 2 servers, so they were like, well, what are the odds?
This is going to take a long time.
Yeah.
They can't arrest all of us.
Right.
Yeah. Us back to further in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
The Kevin subplot of him and Moose in the teacher's lounge.
We have not even gotten into the Kevin
that's
subplot.
right.
Azzy.
Oh my God, I have
like
a lot to say about the Kevin Moose thing. Okay, go ahead.
I know, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, we can talk about Kevin and Moose.
Yeah, let's do it. Cool.
Well, Azzy, what were you going to say about it?
It's skipping ahead a little bit, but without context of the other seasons of Riverdale. When Kevin and Moose are cuddling, it's like very sweet. They're surrounded by all these candles. They're having a tender moment. And Kevin's like, hey, remember when we were having sex for the first time and your dad was dressed as the Gargoyle King and tried to scare us, and then it just did like a smash cut to the Gargoyle King? That was a cool creative decision that I just wanted to like really
great moment.
My respect for.
It was a great moment. And Azzy, I just wanted to apologize to Azzy real quick, because I do know, Azzy, that I bailed on you after that horrible night when my dad dressed as the Gargoyle King. No, great scene.
You do have to put, I think it's worth going into the character of the dad and going, what's the end game here? Like
speaking of end games,
and the ROI of the effort put into crafting this incredible costume, by the way, that would like slay at any I would say like
Labyrinth or something.
Yeah. Well, like a kink. Yeah, Labyrinth. Sure. Not that that's not kink, but like a kink fest or a kink parade or a pride parade, or like it's like what that thing is, and that is a sexual object. Like that person is dressing to give very sexual vibes. Like a gargoyle king. That was a horny beast. And so I get it. It all worked out, right? I guess the dad was like, I'm going to craft. I'm going to like spend weeks crafting this cosplay and I'm going to scare my gay son. And they're going to run away from each other and never be queer again. But I could see a world where that completely backfired and everyone got wildly more horny and the dad all of a sudden is like, involved. So, and then part of me is like, well, who spends that much time on a costume anyway to intercept gay sex and not want to be included?
Well, Amy, as you might remember from that season, that's not why he built the Gargoyle King costume.
Oh, it isn't. I don't remember that.
No, I think if I remember correctly, it's just sort of a happy accident that he accidentally interrupts his son having gay sex.
Oh, okay. It seemed deliberate.
That's more tied to the overall like jingle jangle pipeline and the fact that the game Griffins and Gargoyles is taking over the town's youth.
Oh, right. Yeah. I do remember that. Okay, well, whatever. In my mind, I was like, that dad wanted in.
Oh, yeah. You thought it was like somewhere between a scared straight and an incest option.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, I thought it was
Moose's dad wanted to join them.
Literally, yes. I was
That's an interesting take, Amy.
Well, no, but the math checks out. I mean, look again without the context of the
No. I would say that this theory about moose tracks.
Moose.
That's really good.
That is very good. That is very
Thank
good.
That's
you.
good. The first joke of the podcast.
The first joke.
Can I ask you a question, Amy?
Yeah.
And Omar and Azzy, open question here.
Hello.
What's your classical music of choice for dismembering?
I'll let Azzy go first.
Oh, come on. This musician Keaton Henson has a really good classical album that's very tense. It's supposed to like go through different stages of mental illness throughout the whole album. So that album's really good.
You'd go with something that fits the mood of the dismembering.
Probably. I wouldn't go with like a piano guy's rendition of like I'm Walking on Sunshine.
I don't know if that counts as classical music, to be honest.
Piano
guys, if you're listening, that's a challenge. The glove has been dropped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the opposite direction and lighten the mood a little bit because this isn't murder again. Like we said, morally, this is a little separate from murder. So I'm gonna say. I don't remember Blue Danube Waltz. Is that what?
Nice.
Sure,
yeah. Oh, that's fun. I like that.
That's really good.
And then it speeds up. I'm
already thinking of so many fun physical bits you could do with the body parts to that music.
That's really good.
Yeah, well, it gives a good edit. It gives a good edit.
Yeah, I like it.
I would probably go with Sugar Rush from the Wreck-It Ralph soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, what does that even sound like?
Seems kind of
jump into your racing car, Sugar Rush. Sugar Rush.
Yeah. I love that song. I didn't know it was from a movie though.
For this episode.
Yeah, it's from Wreck-It Ralph.
That's very good.
Yeah, I in this scene, and we have to get through every.
We're kind of bouncing all over the place.
Veronica and Reggie. Oh my God, Veronica and Reggie go to therapy. A very special episode.
Yeah, I will just say though, like knowing me and my personality, and also my improv style, I would, given those two options, where it's like dismember the body or like you are in the next body. There's an obvious choice, but I would drag it out where I'd be like, okay, obviously I will dismember the body. And I'd be like, but how long does it have to take? You do it now. Okay, I'll do it now. But is there any time for dinner? And I would just find a way to kind of like keep that going for like a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. You would need some stalling. Yeah, that's actually a really good strategy when you're dealing with serial killers in a well, but also in a warehouse.
Yeah.
Wherever they were.
Yeah. Speaking of keeping things going, Amy, do you think you'd want Baby Anthony to be able to fight with serpents by his side? Because I'm just worried that otherwise he might get killed by a ghoulie.
I don't know what a ghoulie is. I understand that it's offensive though.
Take a guess.
It's not offensive.
It's not offensive.
No.
It is a non-serpent.
They're certainly
not
serpents.
Okay, not serpents. Is it another gang?
Yeah, it's the rival gang.
Okay.
It's the rival gang.
And what creature do they look like? Because the serpents are humans, but the ghoulies are like a half human, half animal.
No. Really?
No, I'm sorry. I can't let this bit continue. They're
Omar,
not. They're
Omar's
also
just
humans.
lying to you now.
Oh God! I believe anything. I will believe anything. I mean, this is. We're reading thought. Like everyone's got a superpower, but
yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't there be like fantastical creatures or cryptids or whatever?
Or maybe like dolphins out in the fog.
Well, I don't know. What's a ghoulie? What?
They're just
a person.
People. This is just gang members.
They're wearing other leather jackets that have
other leather jackets. Yeah, unfortunately, they're all gone now.
They're the Jets.
They're gone.
They're the Jets to the Serpents' Sharks.
Yeah.
Are they gone? Did they die?
Oh yeah, they were all killed by Percival Pickens and his cops.
He used his voice
Is that
control
real?
powers.
Yeah, that's
he used
real.
Well, actually, he used his voice control powers to get them to all kill each other.
That's true.
Wait, doesn't he has mind
The
control,
gut
not voice
wounds
control?
were
Yeah, but he said,
self-inflicted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
They're not all dead. Twyla Twist is safely back in Chicago.
that's good.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that completely. I remember that, and that went over my head, and I was like, okay, none of this.
Mm-hmm.
I just get that, like, the baby, they want the baby, and like there are risks either way, like if the baby is with them or not.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I was really pulling for like joint custody. It seemed like that would be a good way to go.
Yeah, you'd think.
But no, it's pretty binary.
Speaking of coming together, Veronica and Reggie are trying to like fix their relationship a little bit.
Yeah, and then they made the choice to break the pattern for both of them. I mean, it was therapy in like 5 seconds, honestly.
Yeah, it was great.
That's usually how I do it.
I think it was very well, but let's be honest, it was after a booty call. It was after like so your head's a little clearer at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the ramifications of that are, but Veronica fucked up. Like let's like Reggie made the right call. If she's not gonna throw Archie all the way under the bus, and like the only thing people are looking for is like, I choose you, not, here are all the excuses and the caveats and whatever, and I guess you're here, so why not?
So you think
like,
Reggie's the one in the right in this situation?
Yeah, I do. I don't think they should be together.
Even though he stole those slot machines.
Oh no. Okay, what? So I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy.
You agree,
I just know what the
you
scene
agree
was.
with Veronica that she overreacted when she broke up with Reggie because she stole those slot machines.
We got the rare Omar face palm.
It's my favorite thing because Amy is invested. That's the best part of this episode, because like at this point all of our other guests have just like given up, honestly. Like they've gotten to a point where they're just like, sure, the slot machines did that. Were they haunted? Who cares? Like they're like, we love all of our guests. You are just like, I'm watching you trying to pull threads out of the sky to like connect them and be like, I have to, and like the earnestness of like, you guys, I do not have all the evidence. I really need you to comprehend.
I don't have the evidence, but what I saw was Veronica assertively not choose Reggie, and Reggie react to that information correctly.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. He did, but I also think it's I applaud Veronica for being honest about her feelings there. Like I don't think you should lie to make your partner
I don't
feel
think
better.
So either.
There.
I mean, and at what point? Like, look, there's also the option of settling. Like if you're gonna, but also, I mean, they're 25. So.
Yeah. So they should probably start thinking about that.
About settling.
Just kidding. That's very far from a joke. I want to be very clear that don't do that.
I mean, she could be doing like, Reggie, you're gonna be my first husband. Like, let's just get that over with, and at some point we'll divorce, and I'll move on to my second, and you'll move on to your second. Like, I mean,
it's fine.
But it does seem like Reggie is looking for, the not the love of his life, but like a clear commitment, and I didn't get that from Veronica.
Yeah,
Reggie's always been second fiddle to Archie his whole life.
That was made really clear, and I get it. Like that's a tough place to be.
Now a question to you, Amy, because being second fiddle to another person is tough and can lead to a lot of insecurity. Does it change your opinion of Reggie at all that he also felt second fiddle to himself when the previous actor who played Reggie appeared, and Veronica was like, maybe we can have a 3-way with 2 Reggies and 1 Veronica?
Hold on. With the previous actor who played Reggie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. For clarity, the actor playing Reggie swapped like between seasons 1 and 2 or 2 and 3.
1 and 2, I believe.
Okay, I don't remember that either. I swear I watched many of these episodes. But
that should be all the back information you need.
But then they have that actor on to play a different character?
No. He's Reggie. He's Reggie.
It's Reggie, right? He played Reggie, Amy.
At the same time as the current Reggie plays Reggie?
Yes. Academy Award winning Charles Melton, yes.
Yes.
Not Academy Award winning, Golden Globe nominated.
Whatever.
Okay, but they're in the same scene?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Same room?
Why?
What do you mean?
Well, they're in
No.
Riverdale.
It's River. They are in the Splinter universe. We're in the Splinter universe, Riverdale. Does that help?
You're in Rivervale
Yeah.
this whole time?
No. This episode's in
we're
Riverdale.
in Riverdale.
But when
We
this
are.
other thing happened, it was in
it
Rivervale.
was Rivervale.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. And,
Yeah.
and so Veronica, okay. So
And Veronica
wait, I
wants to
don't-
have a three-way
What are you
with them.
asking me?
Would
So
it
he was-
change? Would it
How would it-
change
yeah.
your thoughts on Reggie? To know, well, how would you expect Reggie, as you understand him, to react
Mhm.
if, when Reggie confronted with another Reggie and a Veronica, and Veronica asks if they want to have a threesome?
Oh, I think these Reggies would very much like put up a lot of blocks and be like, no, this isn't happening,
Mm.
and then ultimately have it happen.
And ultimately
Ooh.
have a duel happen where they each kill each other in Veronica's living room.
In close quarters, right next to each other. With
That's what you
pistols.
meant?
They kill each other, like both of them die,
Veronica comes home and finds them both dead, and they're
No.
shot in the head.
Yeah.
In a duel.
and there's no sex for anyone.
No.
It's a very celibate show.
That's what? That's wild. I wouldn't have guessed that. Maybe I don't belong in this writer's room. I'm going to take
Yeah.
myself out of the writer's room.
I
I don't think
mean-
I could have ever come up with that.
I guess on that note, Amy, the only way I can respond to that is to say that I'm both the maiden and the dragon, and I'm afraid, Amy, that you're going to feel my fiery wrath.
Oh, oh my God. And we
Mhm.
haven't talked about Madeline and her shit.
Before we
She
get too far,
I
I've gotta mention my two favorite lines of the
Mhm.
Veronica Reggie story.
Okay, let's wrap them out.
Reggie, Veronica invites him to play poker, and he goes, "I've been playing poker all day with the wise guys at the car lot," which is
the
awesome.
wise guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you should be selling cars, Reg. Just an idea.
And then when they are definitely having a fight, Veronica goes, "We're not fighting. We're having an open, honest dialogue."
I actually
Yeah.
I was more with Veronica in that instance. I don't think what they were having had to be a fight. I think Reggie was making it a fight by refusing to engage in good faith.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It did open. I think it's semantics at this point and who actually fucking cares. But to Ozzy's point, what it
We
does
do.
do, dialogue, is open up the door for we're gonna repeat. I'm playing out my parent. Like they're. It's like,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
it serves that
we're
up.
doing therapy language. Got
Sure.
it. Or at
Yeah.
least the therapy that people have found on Instagram.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Speaking of parent dynamics, if you thought that your mom, who is now a nun with the Sisters of Quiet Mercy in the Himalayas, had come back to your house to steal a dummy that used to be, so you believed, possessed by the ghost of your dead twin brother Julian, but which you now know is instead possessed by the very real spirit of the 140-year-old witch Abigail Blossom, who'd previously possessed your body, how would you react?
I had no idea who Julian was. Like it was just that doll. I was like, give her the fucking doll. Like that is like cursed. That thing needs to leave
You're not
this
wrong.
house.
You're not wrong about it being cursed.
Yeah, but look, Madeline has always been my favorite character as I was watching it.
Yeah.
So I can find very little fault with everything that she does. Like the slapping your mom on like with a candlestick is fucking great.
For sure.
Raising her body temperature. You would last. I will say, if you were at 140-degree body temperature,
You're dead.
You're dead. Like you're dead immediately,
you're
even
dead.
for a split second. You don't. Your
I've done
blood.
it.
Your blood doesn't boil; it explodes. Like 140 degrees is an insane temperature.
it is.
And she's like still breathing and sweating and crying, and it's like you could have said anything. Like I think I'm dying at 104. I've had 104 temperature, and I'm like I shouldn't be making any decisions at all, much less moving my body. But you like anything higher than that. 106 is crazy. 110.
Yeah.
But 140 is like an eternal combustion.
It might help to know that in a previous episode, Cheryl did go up to, I believe, 219 degrees
But
Fahrenheit.
she's pyrokinetic,
Yeah.
so that makes sense. She can get away with it.
Right. She's Daenerys. And her hair, not even her hair can get
No.
destroyed.
No, I mean, that makes sense to me, Amy. You're saying you wouldn't move. That's interesting because I feel like if my daughter had raised my internal body temperature up to around 140, I'd probably tell her where to find all the letters I'd hid from her first lesbian crush.
Is that real? Now, did that happen in any previous, or is Heather a new character?
She's not new.
Heather is absolutely new.
No, not in this episode.
She's mentioned by name.
Heather, yeah. When
they try to get...
Sorry, Omar and I are talking over each other to explain the same thing. Please, Omar.
Yeah. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but so Abigail Blossom was called forth through time to possess the body of Cheryl Blossom. Mm-hmm. Cheryl's spirit was then now scattered to the wind, essentially to just like die off in nothingness. And they needed to reconfigure Cheryl's spirit in Cheryl's body. Correct, Sarah?
I believe Cheryl's mind was supposed to dissipate, but she was strong enough that she was able to persist inside Abigail Blossom's mind, and she got locked into a dreamscape of sort of her own creation in which her mother, all of her hatred and anger towards her abusive mother manifested as sort of the dream keeper locking her in this dream prison. And when Britannia goes to rescue her from inside Abigail's mind...
Who's that? Who's Britannia?
When Britannia goes to rescue her from inside Abigail's mind, that's when we see Cheryl getting in trouble for having this relationship with Heather. Britannia is Cheryl's ward.
Yeah.
What? Like a kid?
Yeah, she's like the head girl of Cheryl's little witch academy.
School. Yeah.
She doesn't really seem to run anymore.
Is that part of the school? Is that part of the high school? And Cheryl's teaching which school?
No, it's specifically on Thornhill. It's not
okay.
Yeah, it's in an independent educational system.
I have to say this. I found out that Heather was mentioned by name in season 2.
Yeah. When we first find out that Cheryl's a lesbian, we do hear this story.
Okay.
Called The Hills Have Eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This, I'm going to say something that doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Title, Azzy?
That's just awesome.
Well, this episode it was called Avengers Endgame, so
that's true.
They have no shame; they don't care. I watch my TV with subtitles on.
Yes,
I don't care. At me, that's fine. But
I do too.
They do not like Jughead. Like the subtitles. Sorry, the captions. I meant captions. Captions do not like the name Jughead. I'll just say that.
What do they call it?
What does it say?
I don't remember, but it was one of those. I had to go back and be like, wait, because this is a lot of information taken. It's almost like Game of Thrones. This episode where you're like, wait, what? But Jughead was something else. It wasn't like when Jughead was talking. It wasn't like the character name who was talking. It was when someone said it. So
yeah.
So Jughead
was it maybe something like Forsyth?
Is that his superhero
maybe
name?
Forsyth Pendleton Jones.
Oh, is that his real name?
The third.
I do miss because I do remember other Riverdale episodes where Jughead would really go nuts, waxing poetic for a solid 30 seconds, 50 seconds at the beginning of the episodes, because he was this like angsty writer type, and this one we got like one sentence of a Jughead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was kind of the narrator of the town, and we lost that.
That's fascinating that's how you describe him, Amy. Would it
Don't
surprise
psychologically assess
me. I think Amy might know a little bit more than she's letting on.
Wait,
Amy,
what? What does that mean?
Amy, you drop the act. You can't pretend like you don't know that in the Splinter universe of Rivervale, there are multiple Jugheads, one of whom is the eternal narrator for the town, and one of whom is the imaginative battery who's locked in a bunker writing stories to sustain the separate, independent existence of the Splinter universe, to prevent the two universes from colliding and killing everyone in the Splinterverse.
Everyone on Riverdale got really jealous of Marvel of Disney Plus doing Time Lord stuff with Loki, and they were like, "Man, I want to do this." Oh my god, I love it. Marvel walked so that Riverdale could run.
But yes, as you pointed out at the beginning of the episode, Percival Pickens is now Riverdale's new mayor.
Yeah, it happened during the fog.
Yeah. You felt like who's the but I will ask you this: who's the Council of the Four? I actually do care about this.
Yeah,
Okay.
now
Is it
it's
anyone
3.
I know?
Yeah. Do you know Tabitha?
Is she a mom?
She's the one who can time travel. Jughead's girlfriend.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know her name was Tabitha.
Tony was on the Council of Four.
And no longer is?
Yeah.
No longer is. Alice Cooper, Betty's mom / substitute weather girl,
Okay.
and Archie's Uncle Frank for some reason.
Yeah, for like literally no reason.
Okay, but do they have superpowers, or they were just chosen by the Warlock?
Well, Tabitha can travel in time. Oh, no. They were just it was a 4-person town council. They predate Percival Pickens entering the town.
Oh, interesting. Okay. 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 Cool.
Is that how you would describe democracy, Amy, as a council of 4 people, but 2 of them are definitely not on the council anymore, electing a mayor?
I mean, I do think the numbers get pretty arbitrary when you're considering our democracy.
That's very fair.
That's true.
Very fair.
I appreciate
This is essentially the same thing.
I would rather live in a world where it required an immortal racist warlock to destabilize your democracy.
Dog.
You know, one way to unify an entire people is give them one thing
hero.
to hate. Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, did you say a euro? Like
I
a
said
sandwich?
a folk hero.
Oh.
Oh.
But what I would give.
What I would give for a euro.
What I would give for a hero right now, let me tell you.
If you want to unify an entire people, I gotta say, the answer is sandwiches.
I don't think you're
recording
wrong.
this episode on a Monday. We want to get our week started on a good note. We want a good sandwich.
Maybe, given that Pops is the soul of Riverdale, I don't think that you're super far from the truth.
Yeah, food is an equalizer. We all need it.
Yeah. Can we ask you? Okay, I'm gonna pull a page out of Sarah's book, and I know we're getting towards the end here. I just want to gauge, now that you've seen this episode and we kind of talked through it. We're gonna give you 3 options of this is something that has happened in Pops before. Okay, I'm gonna do religious edition for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you tell us which of these 3 options happened in the show.
Yeah. It's
oh my god!
ones.
Did y'all produce something? Did you produce a game?
It's 2 lies and a truth.
Yeah, it's 2 lies and a truth. 2 lies and a truth. Yeah, well, yeah, Amy, you work quite a bit on actually. So we're gonna go ahead and give you a little taste of your own medicine here.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these is true? How about the doorway to Pops is christened and protected by the tears of the Virgin Mary? That's option A. Option B, at one point a character drank a milkshake out of a holy grail, the actual holy grail. They served a milkshake in that. That's option B. Option C, one of the patrons of the diner at one point turned out to be the angel Raphael.
Oh my god. Okay, so this is getting into like Buffy territory.
So it is, but only one of these is true of Pops. So which one do you think it is?
I believe the Virgin Mary one. I believe. I don't know why I believe like Blessed Mary. I think because. I'm going to just go through my thinking. Like the Virgin Blessed Mary, the Catholic Mary is, has actually been like reclaimed by generic spirituality because she's fucking dope ass. And just like chill as fuck. So I think that was like one of those things where they were like, oh yeah, we'll just drop her in there. I think people like Mary. Okay. And then Raphael or the Holy Grail. I think these writers would put a milkshake in a holy grail for sure. And so Archangel Raphael, I'm going to go with that one. That one's a lie.
Well, this is 2 lies and a truth. So you have to, only one of these is
true.
No.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I'll keep the blessed just because
okay,
I'm
gonna put you out of your misery here. And honestly, Omar, may Mephistopheles have mercy on our souls for lying to poor Amy. Because, Omar, all 3 of those things happened in Pops.
No, they did. They all did.
Yeah,
they all did.
Those are all true things.
Oh, what a trick question! Oh my gosh! Wow! The Archangel Raphael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was a big get. It was actually the angel too. It wasn't even casting.
Yeah. Well, he's Tabitha's guardian angel.
Everyone's an influencer now.
That's true. You missed the season when Tabitha's traveling around in time with her guardian angel Raphael, trying to put a stop to sundown laws and trying to prevent the FBI from massacring as sort of black activists after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah,
Was this
yeah.
So that.
Oh, sorry.
Was
this
really
was the episode immediately before your episode.
What? No.
Yeah. Yes.
And she dueled a Confederate general using the spear of Longinus, the spear that pierced the side of Jesus Christ on the crucifix.
Wait,
Yeah.
What?
And she got back by drinking a holy grail.
Wait, none of that. You didn't sense that any of that had just happened when you were watching this episode?
Oh my God. That's. So there was action? There was like fight choreography and like.
There was a fight choreo scene.
Yeah.
There was.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's because Tabitha, as you probably could have guessed, was on the fencing varsity team.
Yeah, in college.
I love it. I mean, don't put anyone in a box in Riverdale. No. Mm-hmm. You don't know. Just because they're making your pancakes doesn't mean. Well,
Amy,
they were on the debate team.
I do agree that we shouldn't put anyone in a box, but we're now at the segment of the episode where we're going to ask you to put some people on the podium. This is the awards segment.
Oh,
and
great.
we have
some
now 5 awards. Well, no, okay,
oh my God.
That's a time continuity error. You only have 4 awards to give out.
Don't worry about that, Amy.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Amy.
Did a Google Doc just die? And
no. Nothing happened. Listener, don't worry about it.
Listener.
Omar and I only move. What?
We may have been in a Splinter universe where there was a 5th award.
Yeah. No. Omar and I only move forward in time. Azzy, I can't speak to. But as far as I know, moves linearly.
I'm linear too.
We're all linear.
As well.
We're all definitely linear time movers here. Okay, we have 4 awards for you, Amy. The first one comes from the first guest on this show, Oscar Montoya. And
love.
We would love for you to award the official Oscar Montoya Sin Pi Award for which character, inanimate object, animal, concept, whatever you prefer, in this episode, ate their slice of the sin pie and left no crumbs, who crushed every scene they were in.
I would say Madeline. Yeah, Madeline.
Cheryl.
Yeah.
She baked.
She ate.
She baked. She ate.
Mostly because when she came on screen, I was like, are we in a different show?
Madeline,
not only because of her acting and like the I don't know, it's like this overt, like kind of sexual, religious, sinful thing that's going on, but from the 70s, when it was like, or the 80s, like we're gonna make nuns hot in movies, and we're gonna bring sex to religious people. So I'm gonna say Madeline.
Amazing.
Beautiful. We have a second award, and you can repeat answers if you wish, just so you know. This is the Ross Bryant Notice Me Senpai Award. What character did you want to be noticed by during this episode?
Okay, well, this is going to reveal more about me than the episode, I think. Honestly, I think Jughead is very hot. And I don't, he's subtle, but I never will forget I'm weird, I'm a weirdo, like that situation.
Stupid hat on.
Yeah,
would you get mad at him for reading your mind, even though he reads your mind every time you have a conversation, because that's the only way you can communicate?
I mean, I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum.
I
would, let's see, without being too, I think I would want to be noticed by Jughead.
Solid answer.
I think he's great. I think he's grounded and great. And honestly, those scenes were the least weird scenes.
Sure.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The next award is the Dan Lippert Award for Can You Please Make a Prediction for What's Going to Happen in the rest of Season 6?
they're going to fully. We're either going to get a remake of the entire Loki series on Disney Plus, or Andor.
Oh, that's really good.
So that, like, where they're just like, oh, there's a hierarchy and a rebellion, and there's a lot of heist vibes.
One character can't swim.
Yeah.
I love
So I think if I were on the show and I was just getting this license to do whatever, I really would go straight. I'm like, great, I want to write my version of Andor or Loki. And because I think they're already kind of doing that, if I'm honest. So,
amazing.
but as far as what happens, I think we're just going to get a bigger power struggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just going to get more and more pronounced until, God, then what happens? I think look, classic D&D rules. Oops, it's a bigger deity. So we're going to have a reveal that, like, all of this is being masterminded by, I don't know, another entity.
Sure.
Yeah, Agatha from WandaVision. And finally, we have the Britannia Award. You get to give this award not to a person, but to a moment. It's a moment that made you go, I'm sorry, what? You need to explain that to me.
Okay, well, we already went through it. I did laugh out loud, only once, but it was right before the cold open, like when they were like Riverdale, and I burst out laughing when Tabitha, in all earnestness, was like, well, I time travel. And I was like, that was just this spit take moment for me. I think fabulous acting and everything, but having no context. After that, it was like stacked. Everything was stacked. And that was the final domino that just, I was like, absolutely not. This is crazy. I had to pause it and be like, wait, what even is happening?
Yes.
So it was that moment, but runner up would be our Archie and Betty pregnant.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I think that'll be really cool. I actually think they're definitely pregnant. Like this would be it's time. It's time.
Yeah. It's time.
Speaking of Tabitha, Amy, before we did this recording, I actually ran through 1,384 possible scenarios for how this episode might go. And in every single scenario, you crushed it. And it just seems to be a moment that's fixed in time. So no surprise, you crushed it yet again. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about our favorite show.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me. Here's a question. Did y'all watch season 6 before you decided to make this podcast?
Omar and I are legitimate fans of Riverdale.
You're legit. Okay. So you were like, this is worth discussing, and let's just make our friends watch like silly one-off episodes that will confuse the shit out of them.
Like let's let our friends watch one off episode and confuse the shit out of them.
Let's
share something we love with our friends.
Very cool. So you've already seen this, and you're like intimately aware of these details. Correct. Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah, we knew what you were getting into. Is that your question?
Amy? It wasn't an experiment where we're all a little like, oh, look at this. This is a new thing that's happening.
No, but Amy, if people want to get intimately aware of your details, where can they find you?
Well, my address is, right now, just follow me. I'm mostly active on Instagram, and I'm at Vorpahl Sword, and Vorpahl is my real last name, believe it or not. But,
and that's Vorpahl with an H,
that's where you can,
listeners.
Yeah. And with an H, you can find out what I'm up to. The other thing is I do send out a kind of personal email every month that's about obviously stuff I'm up to career-wise, but also a little bit of like a context behind the scenes that you don't see on Instagram. That's just like, I mean, I don't go too deep into like why I'm sad sometimes, but but that I have had months where it's like, wow, like here's how I'm dealing with, the strike, or whatever. But a lot of times it is just like what I'm interested in or what I'm spending my free time doing, or I do get into some dating because I am perpetually dating, and that's always fun. People like knowing that because it's a fun topic. So anyway, whatever. There, you can do that you can find all those links at my Instagram and my bio. The end.
Beautiful.
And Azzy, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at I need Azrael, Azrael. You can go follow the podcast at Riverdale 6 Pod, and we'll have links there to all our other stuff. It'll probably be our at on every other social media platform as well. So
Yes.
Omar?
And I'm Omar. You can find me at Orange on Film on Instagram, as well as over on F and Funny for ABCD, maybe some other shows that are going on there. To check all that out. And also, I just want to quickly say, during my little time, Amy, I've known you for quite a while now. We've gotten to work together on a bunch of stuff, and also just know each other. You are seriously one of the most genuine people I get the pleasure of seeing on a regular basis. I would like it to be more regular than it is. But folks, if you're wondering, because you're just like, oh my God, I saw that person on Dropout or whatever, like, I hope they're cool. Amy is exactly what it says on the tin. Like, the things you love, you love. You are not someone who's just like, I don't know, chasing a trend or doing a thing or whatever. Like, you truly bring your personality to everything you do. And it always makes me so happy. So I want to just double up on
Holy
that.
shit.
Sign up for that newsletter, folks. Amy is just a good, honest person with an artistic spirit. And I feel like we just need to celebrate that way more in this world.
Thank you so much. I will say I can be intense. So I also give intense. So if everyone's like, she just laughs a lot, I'm like, my emotions are very, very enormous. Joy emotions are very enormous too. So that's good. And then there's also like, I can really serve some cunt too. So
yeah. So maybe see the Pixar movie Inside Out, and then sign up for Amy's newsletter.
Yes, that will help you. And in the
thank
meantime,
you so much, Omar.
In the meantime, you can follow me on Instagram at Sarah Rose Kaplan, Sarah with no H, Rose like the flower, Kaplan with a C. And you can watch me desperately try to promote my improv shows that I need people to come to so that I can keep doing them,
But
not so that I can make money.
so good.
They're so worth it. Sarah,
Thank
you're
you so much, Amy.
Yes.
Oh
I just
my
saw
God.
Dramatique last Friday when we were recording this, and it was mind blowing. I had a big smile on my face the entire time. And I like worship you look, I'm an intense person, but
well, thank you so much. Listener, if you're in the LA
so
area and Dramatique is still being offered slots by the theater, you might be able to come see us. And if you want more information on that, again, just follow that Instagram. You can also see me on F and Funny. And I guess mostly I just have one thing to say to you, listener. Bye.